Hi, I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're today with our new lineup of pallet forks. This is the set of pallet forks that would go on a full-size tractor or a skid steer. These are right now they only come in 42 and 48 inch lengths, and they come in two different thicknesses of forks for different loads. They come in 1 3/8 inch, which is what this is in thickness, for 4,400 pound lifting capacity at 20 inches from the bend, or they come in a 6,600 pound lift capacity at 20 inches from the bend. And you'll have both of those choices. If these are going on a skid steer and you have a cab machine, you're going to need a step to get in. And depending on if your door opens from the left or the right, this step can be moved from one side to the other. I don't know if you can see in the black, but there are indexing marks here where we put everything in here so it's precisionally made to fit your quick attach as a standard universal, tight, and be right every time. These are your standard forklift style forks that have the easy clasp here to lift, which lifts the 1/2 inch pin up out of the grooves, pops it right back in. We've beveled this back edge here because this pocket is not completely square. It's tapered at the top, and when you bevel that back edge, it really makes them slide a lot easier. There's no notch in the middle, and I'll show you from the other side because that's where you remove the fork from, and you don't want to ever operate a set of pallet forks with the fork directly in the middle. We've added extra bracing here to support the quick attach. We've kept all of the slats totally vertical and thin where you have a good viewing area, especially on a skid steer. You've got to be able to see what you're doing. We put a strong back brace on it so when you lean your load against it, you stay safe as an operator. And if you'll notice, this frame comes out so the edge of the frame matches the fork there where you're not shifting your load back further. A lot of the forks I've looked at, the fork is actually sticking out the width of the fork further than the frame, so you've got a gap that your load has to kind of shift to before your guard's able to do any good. So this is all level right here to make a good backstop for you where you're not having to shift your load. And with a tractor, you don't need this, and with a skid steer you do. It works fine on either as long as you do this. If you'll notice, the pad where your quick attach goes to, it's on an angle. A tractor has a lot of rollback, so if you're picking up a pallet of shingles or something and you want to roll it back a little bit, even if that pad was flat, you would have enough curl back on a tractor. But on a skid steer, especially a lot of the track machines, when they're rolled all the way up, they're just barely a little more than completely vertical. So we put an angle on it right here so you'll still be able to get a little pitch on it to bring your load back against your guard here. You'll see that we've cut this notch out here, and that has to be in there so we can put the forks on and off. So to remove a fork, you're going to move it to the center, lift it up, and that will allow it to come off of the top rail there. Just remember to never use it in that center position because it can come off. But we now have 5 different sets of pallet forks we're coming out with. You'll see them show up shortly. You'll see them in the field shortly. We look really forward to getting into the pallet fork market. We have been marketing some forks that were made in South Korea, as it says on our ad, and we're just glad to bring all of anything we can. Even though they were good quality, we didn't have any problems with them. We want everything that we can make at Everything Attachments to be made in the United States. So that's what we're working for. We're glad to have our new lineup, and we want anything that you need. Question-wise, whether it's tractor, skid steer, we'll be happy to help you here at Everything Attachment.